I gave him everything, 4 years of love, and he threw me out because he said I couldn't give him a child.
Hello, fam. I am Amma. I have a story to tell. Come with me on my journey from pains to finding true love. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. In the historic coastal town of Cape Coast in Ghana, where the Atlantic waves whispered stories of the past and the sun painted the skies in golden hues each evening, lived a young woman named Amma. Amma lived in a modest 3-bedroom home with her family, a home filled not with wealth, but with warmth, laughter, and discipline. Her father, Ose, was a respected mathematics teacher. A man of quiet strength, he believed numbers were not just symbols, but a language of order and purpose. Her mother, Essie, was a compassionate nurse whose hands healed and whose words comforted. Amma, the eldest of 3, carried both responsibility and grace. Her younger brothers, Yaw and Kwaku, looked up to her like a guiding star. Yaw studied law at the University of Ghana, while Kwaku had just earned admission into Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to study medicine. Their parents were not rich, but they were rich in sacrifice. And Amma made them proud. She graduated with a first-class degree in accounting and finance. That night, the family celebrated with fried plantains, jollof rice and crispy chicken wings, and chilled hibiscus juice. Their laughter echoed louder than any wealth money could buy. After attending over 20 interviews, enduring rejection after rejection, Amma finally received the call that would change her life. A prestigious international shipping company in Tama had offered her a job. Not just any job. A well-paying role, a company car, and a fully furnished 2-bedroom apartment. Her family rejoiced like a miracle had happened. A week before her start date, they all traveled together to Tama. Her father stood tall in her new apartment, placed his hand on her head and prayed, "May your path be guided. May your hands prosper." Amma stepped into her new life with courage, and she excelled. Her manager admired her discipline. Her colleagues respected her. She was rising. 4 months later, during a casual lunch with her friend Tiwa, something unexpected happened. A man appeared behind Tiwa and kissed her cheek playfully. Tiwa turned and burst into laughter. Selorm. That was the first time Amma saw him. Selorm was charming, soft-spoken, intentional. Weeks later, after much persuasion, Amma agreed to speak with him. His voice, it carried warmth. His words, they carried care. They dated for 13 beautiful months. Then one evening, under a quiet sky, Selorm asked, "Will you marry me?" Amma said yes. Their wedding in July was nothing short of radiant. Amma wore a bright white lace gown, glowing like the morning star. She stepped into marriage with hope. And for a while, love lived there. Laughter filled the rooms. Affection flowed freely. They were happy. Selorm seemed to be the perfect life partner Amma could have wished for. But time began to change things. 1 year passed, then 2, then 4. No child. What began as gentle concern turned into silent pressure. Amma began to overthink about not being able to have kids. She began loose, sleepless nights over it. Selorm changed. He started coming home late after work. He stayed out longer, drinking with friends. He became emotionally distant, stopped touching Amma. He stopped looking at Amma as he had before. He turned his back at night without even looking at Amma. Selorm's love for Amma began to fade into silence. His body language said everything. No eye contact, no touch, just space. The tension was subtle but powerful. Pain. No conversation, no connection. Just passing by Ecother, like strangers in Ecother space. They no longer argued, because even silence had said enough. Amma became heartbroken and felt lonely. Amma tried everything: hospitals, specialists, herbal remedies. Every answer came back the same. There is nothing wrong with you, but when she asked Selorm to get tested, he got angry and started screaming at her. He refused. One evening, Selorm came home with a letter. A divorce letter. He didn't sit. He didn't hesitate. "I am going to be a father," he said. "I cannot raise my child outside my home." Amma's world collapsed. In that moment, everything she believed in began to fall apart. Just like that, Selorm asked her to leave his house. Another woman, Della, took her place. Della was loud, extravagant, and everything Amma was not. Della lived and spent like there is no tomorrow. She loved the glitz and glamour lifestyle, with Selorm not having the suitable bank account balance to sponsor her lifestyle. Amma moved to stay with her younger brother, Yaw, who had since graduated from school, was working as a litigation lawyer in Tima. She took time off work. She cried. She broke. She healed. She began therapy to process intense emotions like grief, anger, and betrayal, and to navigate the loss of their former life and identity. She started yoga to heal emotionally, manage stress, and rebuild herself. Doing yoga also serves her as a grounding to process trauma, release pent-up anger or grief, and for her to regain physical and mental strength. Slowly, she began to breathe again. Della gave birth to a bouncy baby girl. Selorm organized an elaborate naming ceremony for his baby girl. He spent thousands of Ghana cedis. He was overexcited. He and Della celebrated lavishly with their friends and family. Then came Sebastian, the owner of the company, a wealthy businessman who had returned from Germany. Sebastian quickly took interest in Amma. He was fascinated about her dedication to her work, her soft-spoken nature, and her selfless personality. Amma was friendly with work colleagues. She was very often approachable, supportive, and collaborative, creating a positive and engaging work environment. Sebastian would struck short conversation with Amma at first. These short conversations grew into bigger conversations. Sebastian took the courage to ask Amma out one for dinner. Amma found herself laughing and smiling again. The both grew so fond of each other. Sebastian and Amma started dating. They couldn't stay apart from each other. They took internation trips to France to visit the iconic Eiffel Tower and Louvre Museum. They fell deeply in love. During their France vacation, on the 13th month of their relationship, Sebastian mastered the courage and proposed to Amma. He proposed in front of the Eiffel Tower. Amma immediately said, yes, leading to a mix of emotional reactions, from tears of joy to surprise. Their wedding was intimate, elegant, powerful. Their family and friends congratulated them wholeheartedly on their beautiful wedding and wished them a lifetime full of happiness as they embark on their wonderful journey together. Amma and Sebastian smiled throughout their wedding ceremony. Amma entered a new life, a mansion, glass walls, marble floors, luxury beyond imagination. Sebastian lived in an elegant glass cottage mansion, blends the intimate, cozy charm of a traditional cottage with the sprawling luxury, high-end amenities, and expansive transparency of modern architecture. It is characterized by seamless indoor-outdoor living, where nature is fully integrated into the daily experience. Amma found herself surrounded by maids, cook, cleaners, and other house-helping staffs. Sebastian treated Amma as queen. My one and only queen. He will look her deep in the eyes and whisper in her ears. 4 months into their marriage, Amma woke up with a sharp headache. She also noticed that she had missed a period last month and was still waiting for her period to come as she sat on her bed. Amma didn't take it serious, though, and brushed it aside. However, a week later, she began to experience an intense breast tenderness and an extreme fatigue. Amma decided to see her doctor concerning her recent health changes. Her doctor ran numerous tests on her, and with a smiling face, he said to Amma, "Congratulations. You are not sick, you are 6 weeks pregnant. We will book you in for antenatal care immediately." After all the tears, after all the waiting, her miracle had finally arrived. Amma gave birth to beautiful, strong, and healthy twin girls. She was overjoyed and thankful to God. Sebastian threw a big naming ceremony for the naming ceremony. Her world completely transformed within a space of 28 months. Sebastian threw a big naming party for the naming ceremony. A list of the country's elites and socialite were invited and attended the ceremony. Amma and Sebastian were overjoyed and thankful to God for his blessing. Meanwhile, Selorm's world was falling apart. Della had changed. Della will disappeared for days with their now 3-year-old daughter. She will often tell Sebastian that she was visiting her parent in Afram Plains. Selorm truly believed her and didn't think of anything bad. Then came the day. A man came to his door. "I am the father of that child," he said. Selorm was stunned and furious. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Selorm stormed into the bedroom screaming Della's name. He surprisingly met Della standing in the middle of the bedroom, her arms folded tightly across her chest, as if holding herself together. His eyes followed her as she paced back and forth, restless, agitated, distant. It hadn't always been like this. There was a time when his voice was softer, when her presence felt like warmth instead of tension. But now, every step echoed like frustration against the walls. Selorm screamed, "Who is the father of the little girl?" That question lingered in the air, heavy and uncomfortable. Selorm's heart began to pace unusually fast. For a moment, the room held its breath. Then he turned, his eyes sharp, pained and broken. He slowly walked out of the bedroom, but the truth was, he already knew. Della stepped closer, her voice not loud, but steady. "You want honesty? Go and see your doctor," she said. "I gave you everything," Selorm snapped, his voice rising. "This house, this life. I even divorced my wife for you." "No," she cut in, her voice trembling but firm. "You gave me comfort, and I never forced you to divorce your wife." "You left your wife out of your selfishness," she said. And in that moment, Selorm felt his knees going weak. He started experiencing a chest discomfort, severe shortness of breath, palpitations, and felt extreme dizzy. Within a twinkle of an eye, Selorm collapsed on the floor. Selorm woke up to find himself in a hospital bed, surrounded by monitors beeping around him. The recovery nurse attended to him and explained that he had experienced a cardiac arrest and have been in coma for 18 hours. After several tests, A specialist named Dr. Musa delivered the truth. Selorm had varicocele, a condition he had since his teenage years. It prevented him from producing sperm. He had never been able to father a child. The child he destroyed his marriage for was never his. Selorm became frustrated. He began to drink excessively. He started failing at work and couldn't complete his work task. Eventually, he lost his job. Amma, on the other hand, was thriving in ways that went far beyond what anyone on the outside could casually observe. Her life had taken on a quiet, steady rhythm, one built on intentional choices, healing, and a renewed sense of self. The woman who once carried silent burdens now moved with clarity and purpose. Her mornings began with calm, not chaos. Sunlight would spill gently through the wide glass windows of their home, wrapping the space in warmth as she sipped her tea, often seated beside Sebastian in comfortable silence. There was no tension, no unspoken resentment lingering in the air. Only a shared peace that came from two people who chose each other daily, not out of obligation, but out of love. Amma had rediscovered herself. She was flourishing in her work, confident and composed, her voice now firm where it had once trembled. Decisions came easier. Boundaries were no longer something she feared. They were something she respected. The world around her responded in kind. And at home there was laughter again. The kind that filled rooms. The kind that lingered long after the moment had passed. She and Sebastian had built something different. Something honest. Their relationship was not perfect, but it was safe. It was soft where it needed to be, strong where it mattered. They spoke. They listened. They understood. Even in disagreement, there was respect. Even in silence, there was comfort. Evenings became their sanctuary. Whether it was cooking together, sharing stories from their day, or simply sitting close with no need for words, there was a quiet joy in their companionship. The small moments, his hand finding hers, the way he looked at her when she wasn't watching, the ease in their laughter. These were the things that made their life feel full. Amma was no longer surviving. She was living. And more than that, she was at peace with the woman she had become. Selorm lost everything, not all at once, not in a single dramatic collapse, but slowly, painfully, piece by piece. First, he lost his wife. Not the woman who stood in front of him, but the one who used to look at him like he was home. That version of her faded long before she ever walked away. Then he lost his home. The walls were still there, the furniture untouched, but it stopped feeling like a place of warmth and became a quiet reminder of everything that had gone wrong. Then came the most dangerous loss of all, his illusion. The illusion that he was in control. The illusion that love could be replaced with comfort. The illusion that he could build a life on half-truths and not watch it crumble. And when that illusion shattered, so did he. But worst of all, he lost Amma, not just her presence, but her laughter that once filled the silence. Her patience that held him together when he didn't deserve it. Her love, the kind that doesn't come twice in one lifetime. And now, all he had left was the echo of her name in rooms that no longer answered back. Moral of this story is, sometimes, rejection is not loss, it is redirection. Sometimes, pain is not punishment, it is preparation. And sometimes, the life you cry over is not the life meant for you. Thank you for watching Amma's journey of redemption. Please, kindly like and subscribe to our channel for more stories. Thank you, and see you next time.